Hello, Internet, and welcome to the 196th episode of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on September 5th, 2022, Labor Day. On the podcast today, we have a man who's going to give you the greatest piece of advice one fantasy football commissioner can give to another, Ryan Holtz.
Whoa. Draft the best pick available.
Yeah.
Don't go in with a preset strategy. And then, I'll be honest, the draft is going to be 30% of your success. The rest of the 70% is waivers and trades. It's not that crucial. You'll make it. It'll be good.
I was more farming for advice from a fantasy football commissioner perspective. What's good policies for running a league, but fair. That's broader, better advice.
Yeah, I don't know. Our league's not...
Rule with an iron fist.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Ban people just to show that you can't be fucked with. Keep people on their toes.
I do a democracy. There's only been a couple decisions where I've made a unilateral, no, this feels right to me, and we don't have time to vote on this, so... we're going to do it this way. Most of the time, though, I'm well, what do people think? Especially when you're involved in the situation, you're obviously going to be biased. But, it leads to not as much participation sometimes. One of our guys finally stopped throwing out the Superflex rule suggestion this year. We only really had one rule suggestion, and it was another last place punishment.
All the rule suggestions that I had were things that you already told me last year, can't feasibly be done with the platform we use. So there was no point in me.
I mean, they did add some stuff this year. They added keeper stuff. So I know that ESPN is still working on new features and everything. But yeah, no, they still can't do... because I'm not even going to propose that as a rule change if they ever introduce decimal points on field goals. That's just good. That would just be
better.
Worthwhile. Yeah, any yard is 0.1 additional points beyond 30 yards. That should just be a thing. That's insane that it's not.
Yeah, 59 yards is a lot different than 50 yards.
Yeah, 59 is a lot different than 50. And they don't even have a 60 plus. They don't even have 6 points for a 60 yarder.
Wait, what?
So it's just 50 plus is worth 5. They don't have a 6-pointer for field goals.
That's archaic.
Yeah.
I mean, the decimal point thing is archaic. A 59-yarder is a near impossible field goal.
Yes.
A 50-yarder, 75%? Yeah. For NFL kickers, those are worth the same? That's insane.
Justin Tucker's 63-yard NFL 64-yard NFL record-breaking kick was worth 5 points.
Yep.
Also on the podcast today, we have a man who's going to tell you his favorite moment from the last NFL season, Andrew Clark.
Favorite moment from last NFL season. Maybe Austin Eckler trying desperately not to score so that his team could salt out the clock, and then the other team picking him up and running him into the end zone.
That's a good one.
He's like, I'm not going to score. I'm going to stop right here at the 1 and go down so that we can salt away the clock. And the other team is like, nope, you are getting a touchdown so that we can get the ball back and try to win.
That's up there.
Other than that, I mean, maybe the best half in NFL football ever played, the playoff game between the Chiefs and the Bills. That was pretty insane.
I've been going down this memory lane, reading through the Defector Sports blog lately. The Cowboys just mismanaging the clock and not getting the ball to be blessed by the ref so they could do one more play or realistically spike the ball. I don't know.
It's the whole thing was that they spotted their own ball.
Yeah.
The ref is like, no, there's 5 seconds left. You can't decide where the ball is. No. I have to be the one that put it down. That's football 101. And they tried to spot their own ball. And the ref's no, I have to touch it. And
Dak Prescott ran with 9 seconds left in the game. That's just... That's not enough time, bro.
And then blamed the refs after the game and was like, "Oh no, it's good that our fans tried to assault them."
And I'm saying this as a Packers fan. I'm saying this as a Packers fan who came up in the Mike McCarthy era. It's nice seeing that from the outside for once. It's nice seeing bad time management just totally fuck up another otherwise pretty solid football team.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about the Cowboys is that, and I know it's been a talking point in the football media for a long time, that the Cowboys are a really well-built team that have like a lot of firepower and like a decent offensive line and a solid defense and a good quarterback and good weapons, and they're just incredibly undisciplined. They're penalized far and away more than any other football team, and that hasn't changed this year in the preseason at least. And Mike McCarthy's like, oh, I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. They'll figure it out.
There's a joke at the end of the famous Hank Scorpio episode of The Simpsons. This episode came out 26 years ago, where Homer tells Hank Scorpio that he wants to own the Dallas Cowboys. That is his dream in life. And the episode ends with Hank Scorpio gifting Homer the Denver Broncos instead. And Homer is disappointed by it. And since that episode came out 26 years ago, the Broncos have won 3 Super Bowls and the Cowboys 0. I love it.
But the Cowboys worth like $5 billion, and the Broncos are what did they sell for? I don't even remember.
It was like
Broncos
are
are less.
1.3 or 1.7, something like that.
Broncos sale price.
I might have made that up.
Wow. 4.65 bill.
Oh, I was completely wrong.
Wait, so what's the Cowboys worth then? Because whenever a team sells, it like adjusts the worth for everyone else. The Cowboys are actually 8 bill.
Oh.
Hmm.
Whenever like a team sells, that's what they have to go off of for like value. So they have to like adjust it. So yeah, no, because the Broncos sold for 4.5, they were like, well, that means the Cowboys are.
Yeah, the Cowboys are worth at least 1.5 Broncos.
Yeah.
It's all fun money. We're like, that's like 16 schmeckles right there.
It kind of is though, like high key,
right? And then last but not least, I am Lucas the Writer, and if you thought I had a theme going with these introductions, watch out, because I'm about to put Greek poets on blast. You know, the fable, the legend, the 12 labors of Hercules? F-tier writing. Not good.
I don't think, does anyone read them? Like,
yeah, they're not
as like the original poem.
It's not literature. Like it's
myth.
Like a legend.
Yeah.
It's myth. You get plot points. You don't get the prose that the original author like used. You can't analyze it the same way that you analyze even like Shakespeare.
I'm saying they're bad plot points. Half of them are just wrestling some weird big animal. Then they're just chores. One of them's cleaning out a stable. One of them's doing a panty raid. These cannot air on Paramount Plus, like that SpongeBob episode.
There's a lot
myth.
of overlap too with some of the monsters, right?
Yeah.
It's like they just kind of like, hey, bro, can I copy your homework? He's like, yeah, sure. But just change it up a little bit so no one notices.
No, but this dragon can regrow its heads. A less creative concept for a dragon than pick a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's a dragon.
What are some concepts from Yu-Gi-Oh card dragons? What are some gems?
We got
one of them has blue eyes.
Blue
right?
Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes
Classic.
Black Dragon. I think Slifer the Sky Dragon.
Wait, what? The theme is kind of departed.
Oh yeah, there are no themes. There's a Plague Dragon, which is aged poorly given our current state of the world. A lot of robot dragons, interdimensional dragons. Yeah, a lot of dragons in there.
There you go.
Yeah, anything could be a dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, like a couple of these labors are just like cattle rustling, horse rustling. Oh, rustling, not wrestling. Like he's
Like he's stealing them?
Yeah, he's like a bandito. Like one of them is capture or steal the mares of Diomedes. One obtain the cattle of the three-bodied giant Geryon.
Is that like the Cyclops? Isn't that a who's the Cyclops guy? That's Odysseus?
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't the Cyclops like a cattle guardian?
No.
At the end of the day, and he's like scared that they're gonna steal his cattle.
I think it was like his treasure. I don't think it was his cattle. And also like that Cyclops that they dealt with was like specifically like an idiot Cyclops. They were on an island full of Cyclopses, and this guy was a big idiot.
Help me! Nobody blinded me.
And they're like,
Dumbass.
oh yeah, he says, yeah, fucking idiot.
I don't know. That feels like ancient, where they're like, ha ha ha, like the biblical story of like trying to figure out who's the real mom of this kid. And they're like, well, we'll cut it in half so each of you can have a half. And then the one mom's like, sounds good. And the other mom's like, what the fuck? What? No! Don't do that. And it's like, you're the real mom. And it's like, wait. These aren't how people
What if
work.
his real mom was just a bad mom? And I'm just a human being.
What was the fake mom's plan there?
I know. Does the fake mom not understand, like, basic biology? I'm confused.
It's not, we're gonna split this acre of land between you evenly. Half a baby is worth less
0.
than half of a baby.
Yeah.
It's negative utils. It should cause physical harm and mental harm.
It's worth less than the sum of its parts.
No, Ryan, it looks like Geryon was... they describe him as like a three-bodied giant, but the statue I'm just seeing is a dude with 3 heads.
Got it.
Yeah.
Apparently Polyphemus, the Cyclops from the Odyssey, later appears as heterosexual. It's interesting that they had to... And they're linked to Galatia, or Galatia, I don't know how to...
Wait, I'm sorry, his name was heterosexual, or...
No, he's like... Later they're like, yeah, he's hetero.
And he's not gay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not gay.
Odysseus, tell us of your travels. Well, after the war of Troy, we were beached upon a land of straight Cyclopses.
Yeah, they were all
I
straight.
don't know why you use that adjective.
They were all men, and they were all very straight. Don't look into it. Don't talk about it.
Weird.
But he was giant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cyclops? Yeah, he was a big boy, right?
Yeah.
He like picks you up in his hand and chomps on you like you're a stick of celery dipped in peanut butter. All right.
Cyclops is probably 15 to 30 feet tall.
It's a big
It's a little
difference.
too small to like grab someone in your hand, right?
I mean, like
15 feet definitely is.
Yeah, 30 feet I think is
30
big
feet,
enough.
yeah, maybe that's right.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think like what's the like my hand is what? I don't know how tall my hand is, but compared to my height,
right.
like I mean I guess I don't know.
No.
Someone would have to be like a foot tall for me to be able to grab them in my hand.
Yes.
And so then I'd have to be like 6 times bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 36 feet in theory for someone to pick me up. And if you grab 2 at once with one hand,
Oh yeah.
that changes the math entirely.
Guys,
Unless these are some skinny boys.
Guys, it's Labor Day. It's a cheat day. I can double fist people. It's fine. Let me have this. God.
I do love the John Goodman portrayal in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Have you guys ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I don't think so.
Oh, you gotta watch it, bro. They're just like, what if we did the Odyssey, but like in 1920s United States? Like,
Oh.
And it's actually like really fucking impressive. It's a Coen Brothers movie.
Huh.
And yeah, like I guess it's kind of a spoiler now, but John Goodman, like they have a bunch of like the trials are very similar or like somewhat adjusted, and so like all of a sudden you just see this, you see John Goodman and he's got an eye patch, and you're like, they're doing it. Like you're like, how are we gonna do a Cyclops? And then it's just like, no, bro, he's just got an eye patch and he's an asshole. It's great.
To be clear, to make sure that I have the correct image in my head, John Goodman is just John Goodman sized, right? Like he's not,
no,
okay.
he's just a dude.
There's no magic here.
Yeah, I mean, John Goodman's a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you see John Goodman, you will be like, I mean, that's a big fucking dude.
In awe
fuck
of
around.
the size of this lad.
Yeah, no, like the community, his role in Community is very,
Yeah.
very much like an homage to. He's a big guy. He's pretty intimidating.
6'2".
In comparison to the Dean, he's kind of the opposite. Big fucking dude.
Yeah. And we got some big news. Big dudes, big news. In news of the week,
Whoa.
Sony and Tencent acquire a combined 30% stake in From Software, the creators of Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, I guess, and Elden Ring. This makes sense.
That other one where you're a samurai, right?
Sekiro, Shadows
Sekiro.
died twice. Yeah. I think that was
Yeah.
technically funded by Activision, so we're never going to get any more of that shit.
Won Game of the Year, right?
I think it was nominated at least.
I'm pretty sure it won.
Yeah, fairly well regarded at the very least.
This just makes sense, with Elden Ring being maybe the kind of biggest game shoe-in for Game of the Year this year, right? This is just two companies saying, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously it works. We want a cut of that. We will give you money to keep doing that.
Want a slice of that pie.
Yeah. Which is why I desperately hope the next game From Software makes is an Armored Core reboot. And then it is just the most aesthetically different game from Elden Ring that they could possibly make.
I'm gonna guess it's going to be
Elden Ring
just
2.
like every other From Software game that's ever been made.
Armored Core, I haven't played one. I've heard people talk about them. I've seen a couple of Let's Plays. It's weird. It's a mech game. You're building a robot and piloting it, and I don't know. I'm definitely going to play whatever game From Software puts out next, but I don't know if that's going to be for me. I don't know if I'm enough of a Gundam head, enough of a gear head to really get into that, but maybe I will be. Look forward to finding out. And either way, Sony and Tencent get some of my money. Yeah. Of course, that doesn't matter compared to this next piece of news. Nothing we've talked about or ever will talk about matters as much as the fact that there's a new Voice of Cards out on September 13th. Let's fucking go. We did it, America. We did it, world. Yoko Taro fucking around is still happening. And I'm here for it.
And it's all just cards.
It's all cards, baby. All cards all day long.
Let me guess, Lucas. Does this whip?
I think it whips. I think it nay-nays. I think it does everything. My only hope for this one, though, is that it's as weird as the first game is. Second one, they dialed it back a little bit. A little more grounded plot. A little more realistic characters. Somber characters. Nah, man. Get some weird muscle fetishism back in this game, like there was in the first one. Live for that shit. Make it funny. Make it odd. It's also wild to me that this is a video game franchise that is now a full-on trilogy in the course of, I think, like 14 months? Very, very base-level games. I think it is
I was
just...
gonna say,
Yes.
when you make a game that's just a bunch of cards, yeah, you can pump those bad boys out.
I think this is what Square Enix is training the new guys with, this franchise. They get developers on. They don't know, they can't trust to put them on the big projects yet. So they're like, make a Voice of the Cards game. Yoko Taro wrote some short fiction in between bouts of whatever intoxicant inebriation. To make that a game. Go for it.
Do you think he always keeps the big helmet thing on?
Yoko Taro fucks with the big helmet on, yes.
This is all confirmed. So when they're in a pitch session, and he's like detailing kind of what he's looking for, like in a very serious business context,
Yes.
you know, pitching to executives and shit like that, he's just rocking this fucking helmet.
Yeah.
Do you think Yoko Taro is like it's like a Dread Pirate Robert situation?
Right.
Yeah, like it's a different guy than it has been at the start. Or is there just a league of Yoko Taros? There's like 15 of them that periodically switch.
So here's the thing. There is an interview out there where Yoko Taro takes the helmet off. I'm only like 40% sure that's what Yoko Taro actually looks like.
You can just send an actor for that one interview.
Yes.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
does... like, Deadmau5, he takes off his head all the time.
Yeah.
Like, fucking... What's it called?
Ninja takes off his wig.
I think,
what's the Around the World people?
oh my god, right?
Around the world.
They broke up.
The world. Stronger, better, faster, stronger.
Daft Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Daft Punk, yeah, they take off their
I
masks.
almost said Kanye.
Kanye, yeah. Fucking the Blue Man Group doesn't show up to their pitches in full paint and everything. Like, I hope not. At least I don't know. That'd be nightmare fuel.
Well,
They just
yeah,
don't
they-
talk.
yeah,
they
and they're
still
just
are just like
silent.
silent,
No, but
staring at
It's
the
the
executives.
board from Severance.
Yeah.
No, but Blue Man Group, the members of Blue Man Group aren't the decision makers in Blue Man Group. That's just real. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that there is a core Blue Man Group who's made up of the most experienced Blue Men who decide the direction for the group and like the show, and when they add like new features and everything like that. That's from the I don't know. I guess maybe there's an emeritus type role.
Oh.
Maybe there's ex Blue Men who no longer perform, but like are kind of familiar with the show and everything like that, and are making some sort of decisions. But
You think
I don't know.
Chris or Jack, I forget which one is which, is just
Chris.
biding their time until they can get into the upper echelon of the Blue Man Group?
I don't think he's in the Blue Man Group anymore.
Oh, damn.
Blue Man Group is owned by Cirque du Soleil,
That makes sense.
so I guess.
Okay.
But I feel like they must have like an EVP or something, right? Like they have like an executive vice president who's like speaking on behalf of the Blue Man Group when they go to Cirque du Soleil meetings.
It's probably not.
Cirque du Soleil is Canadian? Hold on.
What?
No.
They're French Canadian?
Oh, okay, nope, that
Okay, I was
tracks.
gonna
That
say, tell me
100%
at least they're
tracks.
from Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're from Quebec. That's fucking blowing my mind right now. They're not like weird French people. They're French Canadians from less than 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's a new thing.
Right, Ryan, I'm sorry. No, that sentence contradicts itself. They're not weird French people. They're French Canadian. That is weird French people. That is
Yeah.
the weirdest French people.
I thought that Cirque du Soleil was like an old-timey thing that's evolved
Like-
over the years.
Yeah, like it's a tradition
And
that
it's-
goes back
yeah.
to the Revolution or some
Exactly.
shit.
It's a French circus show from like 130 years ago that's just stayed alive because it's been able to get real weird with it and people like that shit. But no, like the guy who founded Cirque du Soleil, on his Wikipedia page, he's 63. He's just like... yeah, he's 63. He's just playing poker at the World Series of Poker. Like, it's just a dude playing poker. Like, it's like, wait, hold on. He doesn't even have any piercings. Like, he can't found Cirque du Soleil and just be a French-Canadian dude. Like, what?
Do you think they have to stop him from doing magic tricks with his cards?
No, I
whenever he's
don't.
dealt
That's what I'm saying. This dude's a fucking fraud. This is just some guy who's like,
no,
the circus is cool.
He's an investor. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not the guy that started the circus.
Actually, no. It looks like after school, he left Canada to hitchhike around Europe. While traveling, he made money playing the accordion, and then he learned how to do fire eating, stilt walking, and became a street performer in Quebec. So, he's a legit circus performer in his youth. But now he just looks like some dude.
God damn, the things you pick up just bumming around Europe.
Yeah,
Missing out.
there you go.
After its developers posted a transphobic screed in patch notes, Steam delists the gladiator game Domina. This is just peak fucking around and then finding out, huh?
Good on Steam for actually delisting some of that garbage.
Right?
Like in the early days of this podcast, some of the shit that we
would
find out about
there
on Steam, we're like, oh, wow.
And Steam would be like, we don't agree with this, but we can't censor. Yeah.
So what if the people who made this game say that black people didn't exist in the Middle Ages? What do you want us to do? Do you want us to focus on this, or do you want us to focus on making a new Half-Life game, maybe? I mean, it's gonna be VR, spoiler alert, and no one's gonna play it, but here you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice to see platform holders being responsible. The second The Last of Us remaster, The Last of Us Part 1, the third version of The Last of Us game, came out. Should we talk about that?
I don't know, man. It's like, I don't think it really merits talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it merits talking about in the way of, like, why did they do this?
Yeah.
Why is this a thing?
Money.
Yeah, I mean, I know. But, I mean, like, they didn't have any other reasoning there. Because this wasn't even as much of a remake as someone who was not going to buy this, thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, like, introducing all of the mechanics of the second game. And,
right.
Like, expanding the way that the first game was played and maybe changing up some of the maps and that kind of shit. It is just a straight-up remaster with, like, I don't know, like, more fluent AI and stuff. And more accessibility features. Like, it's the kind of stuff that could have been a patch.
I've seen some high-level breakdowns that do acknowledge that, well, the character models look fantastic now. There are also some places where the game is worse, like interactions with the environment that are a little more cookie-cutter than the previous game. The language that was used is that they very much focused on making the parts of the game that would show up in a trailer look good, and maybe not the other parts. So,
interesting.
Very mixed bag.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, like, what I've seen of it so far is that, like, yeah, it's good. Like, we don't have any, like, problems with it. If somehow you haven't played The Last of Us yet and don't own a copy and you have a PS5, you should probably play this version instead of getting, like, the PS4 upgraded version, but...
Which is free?
Yeah!
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was like...
I feel like you should get the free version.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, you should get the free version, but it's like, if you, for some reason, haven't played those, and everything else being equal in terms of price, this is a better version of the game.
I was going to say, if you're a billionaire...
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, is that, like, everyone that has a PS5 owns this game automatically.
Yeah. Right.
So, like,
and it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
It is not, it's not good enough to warrant buying an upgraded version of what you already have, which you already have it if you're able to play this game on the PS5. It's weird. I don't get it.
Fucking wild.
If they brought back the multiplayer mode, I'd say, like, okay, that's one difference. It still wouldn't be worth a full $70. But, like...
Wait, they didn't bring those servers back up for the remaster?
No.
The first remaster?
No. Neither there is no... I don't think there's any way to play The Last of Us multiplayer anymore, because I think they took the PS3 servers down. They didn't have the multiplayer mode in the PS4 upgrade, and they didn't add it into this version either.
I mean...
Maybe it's going to be a DLC, because I heard that they're working on making, like, a standalone Last of Us multiplayer game.
Right.
So, like, maybe it'd be something where it would be, like, a free add-on. Otherwise, it's $20 or $30. But they're probably just going to charge $70 full for it. I don't know.
Jesus. This new news item was a little bit of a prompt to ask you this, Ryan. Does your experience with The Last of Us Part 2 tarnish your opinion of Last of Us OG at all?
No, not really.
Okay, so it's not a Game of
I don't
Thrones
think
situation.
so.
Okay.
No, because it's not a continuous narrative. You can you can kind of ignore the events of Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 1 stands alone. Like, you can fill in the gaps if you want to. Like, if you, in your headcanon, you want to just pretend that nothing happened and there was no 2, you can if you want. For Game of Thrones, like, there would be so many plot lines left completely unresolved. And, like, Last of Us Part 1 had a very definitive ending that's like, and now they move forward, even though, like, there's going to be some level of mistrust and, like, you know, it's not going to be perfect and everything like that. But, like, that's the end of this chapter of their life and everything like that. So
that's fair. I guess, yeah, The Last of Us 2, arguably, my opinion, not trying to start a thing.
That you didn't play.
Yeah.
You're
about to give an opinion on a thing you didn't play.
Last of Us Part 2 only bungles maybe 1 or 2 plot lines from that are dangling from OG Last of Us, where Game of Thrones final seasons maybe do that for, like, I don't know, 12. So, okay, fair.
Yeah. Before we move on, Guy Laliberté, the founder of Cirque du Soleil, is one of the weirdest people I've ever seen in my entire life. Turns out he is a billionaire, full-blown billionaire, worth $1.2 billion.
From Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, no. Cirque du Soleil is his only thing. He's a billionaire from that.
And the World Series of Poker.
Well, I'm about to talk about that. The record for the most amount of losses in online poker cash games is held by Guy Laliberté at an estimated $31 million that he's lost on online poker. So he'll play poker. I don't think he's particularly good at poker.
He's
Yeah.
not playing poker. He's trying to feel something, is what that tells me.
Dude, just start findoming. Like, come on. Dude, be a normal guy and just give money to women for making you feel bad. Come on.
Yeah.
He was the first Canadian space tourist in 2009, launching on Russian spacecraft. They did it was a 10-day space flight that he was on. Cost $41 million.
Dropping the bucket for him.
That.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you add that with his poker losses, that's like almost a tenth of his net worth.
That's
like,
fair.
It's not nothing. Let's see, what else? He owns an island in the French Polynesia that he has given interviews saying that in the event of a global catastrophe, him and his family could go there to shelter. Doesn't seem like there's any fresh water on this island. I don't know what's going to happen there, but there you go. And then he was arrested for growing cannabis on said island in Tahiti a few years ago. So, yeah.
But he's out now?
Yeah, I don't know if he ever was like put in jail or anything like that.
He probably just paid a big fine. They're like, hey, man, you lost $31 million just for fun in poker. You could probably pop us 50 to not put you in prison. He's like, yeah, you're right.
Have we found the one acceptable billionaire? Because it sounds like he's just doing normal guy stuff and is not really sure what
normal
to do
guy
with his
stuff,
success.
like going to space and buying an island.
If you had $1 billion magically that you never expected to have, yeah, that's what you would burn that money on. Normal guy stuff.
Normal guy stuff. Just a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker. I don't know.
All right. What
also, his girlfriend's last name is Barilla, and I choose to believe, like, my headcanon is that she's the heiress to the Barilla pasta fortune. I don't think it's true, but this is my headcanon.
Yeah, no, she's the wealthy one in the relationship. He's worth $1.2 million, but she's the one that's bankrolling his debilitating gambling addiction.
Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen situation.
Hey guys, have you met my friend Guy and his spaghetti magnate girlfriend?
It would be, I don't know, it's pretty wild. I mean, hold on. She's from Italy. And Barilla is a company. Like, it's not owned by, like, Kraft or some shit like that. It is a standalone company. And the chairman is Guido Barilla.
Guy and Guido.
Hey, Guy. Well, they're about the same age. Guido's 64 and Guy's 63. His girlfriend's like 30. Like, she's a former supermodel and stuff, but... Interesting.
Wild. Microsoft's Phil Spencer says the next several Call of Duty games will release on PlayStation consoles. Gave written confirmation in a letter to Sony's Jim Ryan.
It's such a fucking, like, small dick flex. You're
Yeah.
like, hey guys, I'll allow this. Like, I'm being very gracious, but I'm gonna write you this letter talking about how you are allowed to have this game on your console. Like, if Sony truly didn't give a fuck, they'd just be like,
We don't
I
want
really
it.
want it.
No.
Yeah. Take it. Doesn't matter to us.
They can play The Last of Us for a third time for all we care.
We'll just use the money that we made from Uncharted the movie to, I don't know, bankroll a new first-person shooter.
This is... And this is like the weird part of that acquisition that never made a ton of sense. Like, yeah, half of all Call of Duty players approximately are on PlayStation. They'd be shooting themselves in the foot, making that a console exclusive. Realistically, they should probably put PlayStation on... put Halo on PlayStation platforms. But, like, Halo diehards, everyone who is going to buy a Halo game is just committed to Xbox now. So that is why they haven't. But
yeah, I mean, Halo's a console seller. Like, it's one of those things where they could potentially lose console sales for, like, their next platform if they make it cross-platform. But
Call of Duty is a console seller too, I'd argue. If Call of Duty actually went exclusive, I think there'd be plenty of fans that would be like, shit, I gotta get that one.
That's fair. There's still...
But, I mean, also, like we just saw, like, these companies are not making money off of console sales right now.
yeah,
Like,
No.
they're straight up having to raise prices because they're losing money on them. Like, so, in reality, console sales are just not necessarily as important right now. So software,
Yeah.
fuck it. Might as well. And when they say several more years, maybe that means 3 years, and then in 3 years, the consoles are actually profitable. So then they make it a console exclusive and try to squeeze some market value out of the Series X and Series S, whatever the fuck. Although if the Series S isn't obsolete by then,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Although I would love it because Call of Duty multiplayer is just... There's an entire scene of weird skins in that game. Call of Duty just effectively became a Microsoft, an Xbox advertising vehicle on the Sony platform. Like, there are fucking Xbox skins in the game. You can get, like, a Project Scorpio gun skin, but nothing Sony related at all. Maybe you get that for free. Maybe that's one of the free unlocks when you play the PlayStation version of the game.
Pass.
Yeah.
How come no Master Chief?
Yeah.
Goku Call of Duty when?
I picture they put Master Chief in the game, and if you have the Master Chief skin, it's like full-blown pay-to-win. Like, you get the jetpack and shit like that, so you're, like, jumping around the map, and everyone else is, like a soldier, just like a regular dude.
You have the full-on armor effect of Master Chief's armor.
Yeah, you are Master Chief.
You're 8 feet tall, you're bigger than everyone else, and your melees do send people flying across the map.
Your guns are all future guns, and everyone else is just like, oh, it's a Galil. It's a Mosin Nagant.
You have Cortana auto-aim.
Yeah.
Just headshot people.
Can it be the version of the Halo armor with cat ears?
Oh, no.
All right. We're moving into the other category. This is going to be weird today. Shinzo Abe's assassin is getting everything he wants, and that's kind of fucked up and hilarious.
I mean, it sounds like he's getting more than he wants.
Right.
I don't know if he ever said, like, I did this so I could raise awareness of Shinzo Abe's connections. It was more just like, revenge. I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
He ruined my life. I want to kill him. Here's why. And then all the news was like, here's why. And then everyone was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. And then, now everything's like, he's kind of like he got everything he wanted, which was Shinzo Abe to die. And the bonus of, like, actually this church potentially losing a lot of its power and influence.
Yeah. It'd be like if Braveheart was like, fuck Scotland, I want to kill the guy that killed my wife, and then did that, and then also was like, oh, England's leaving. That's pretty cool.
Damn.
That's sick.
I'm in prison right now, but, like, I kind of thought I'd be dead. Like, I'm really... Things are coming up me.
I see this as an absolute win.
Honestly? Yeah, that dude doesn't give a fuck. Like, look, assassination, not cool.
No.
But, like, that dude's probably living the life right now.
He's gotten results.
It's the age-old thing, right? Where it's just like, violence is never the answer, except when violence very explicitly is the answer and solves all your problems. It's like when they tell kids, like, hey, kids, don't do drugs. And then it's like, why not? And they're like, oh, because they'll just be fucking great. Like, you'll just have a great fucking time. Like, all your problems will be solved. It's fantastic. Like,
hey, kids, don't do drugs. Take a sip from the 5th cup of coffee they've had today.
Oh, man. After a long day of telling kids not to do drugs, I can't wait to relax at home with a couple of martinis and a beer.
Mama's gotta have her wine.
Hashtag wine teacher. Jesus. In continuing this weird political news, Sarah Palin lost a special election to fill a House seat for Alaska. All U.S. elections should be ranked choice voting.
Yeah. No, it's dumb shit. And first past the post is why we are where we are.
Yeah. And, like, immediately when that happened, like, Republicans started screaming from the rooftops of, like, ranked choice is actually a scam and it's used to steal elections. Don't do it. And I'm sure they're going to be introducing bills in the next couple of months that are like, make ranked choice not legal anywhere.
This system that Alaska used its state's rights to determine? Nah.
Yeah.
Although even that's me preaching a little bit on this point. By the sound of it, going through the actual article, it sounded like one of the other candidates on the ballot had dropped out. So it was only 3 people running, turning it into a much more clear-cut, yeah, you can vote for the Democrat, you can vote for the Republican or the Independent in this election. And it sounds like the Democrat that won, and I apologize for forgetting her name, was the clear and out winner. Like, if this had been popular choice, she would have won anyway. But no, ranked choice is a better system than what we have currently.
Yeah, like most other developed countries use some form of ranked choice.
I mean, we're also talking about Alaska. Like, this is... Yeah, there's not going to be a huge diversity of ideas in the state that is just a frozen wasteland of 600,000 people. Like,
it's weird out there.
Right. Like, there would actually be other parties in other states that actually have, like, a more diverse set of ideas. Like, there would actually be some level of, like, Democratic Socialist Party in the United States. There would actually be, like, for better or worse, like, a Libertarian Party. You know, like, these would actually exist with ranked choice voting. Like, it's better for all sides, but people are like, nah, fam.
What?
It's bad for Republicans, and I don't even care about Republicans. I just hate liberals, so I just want them to be liberal tears, like, lol, you know? Like, I don't even like my team. I just love it when the other side's mad.
Kind of in that vein, what is up with Republicans always going to bat for Sarah Palin? It seems like she has caused them nothing but trouble since 2008, and they're still bandwagoning.
Yeah. I have no idea, man. If McCain runs with Paul Ryan, if the 2008-2012 running mates are flipped, does McCain win?
Very different world. I think so, yeah.
That's fucking wild.
It's possible, yeah.
Are we in a better position because then Republicans don't go off on this weird, like, post-racial America? Like, look, guys, racism's dead. We elected a man who's half black to be president.
I don't know. It's weird.
Alternate histories.
It's one of those things where like you don't know if maybe the Tea Party and all of its crazy offshoots never exist because Sarah Palin isn't there to stump for them because she's busy being vice president. Or
well, she wouldn't be vice president.
Like she
I'm sure
she
Paul
wouldn't
Ryan
be
had
a
some Tea Party shit going
Yeah.
on.
or
Everyone
maybe
did.
all of those ideas become immediately mainstream, and we're even worse than we are right now. Both of those things are equally possible, I think.
Are the Democrats a much more progressive party because of this? Do they look at, well, we can't be any more white bread than John McCain and Paul Ryan. Let's get universal basic income. Let's rally around that. Like,
maybe they stop.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Wow. They really
That's a big jump.
Jumped to 10. Yeah. They skipped. Yeah, like I thought you were going to say universal health care. They skipped a few steps on the progressive ladder. Straight to universal basic income. Look, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But,
They're down. They're in a corner. They got to start taking some big swings. I don't know.
Oh, they're going to buy votes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No one else ever does that.
Yeah, wild. And then last but not least, Kiwi Farms is seemingly down for good and now unsupported by hosting platform Cloudflare. Since I wrote this, the site is back up on the dark web.
The dark web.
But of course, that means they are much less. There's much less engagement on that website, much more difficult to find. Is it an anti-Donna bit? I have in my mind Zach Rowain saying the phrase, so first off, you just have to download the Tor internet browser. Is that from Anti-Donna, or am I misappropriating that?
I feel like it might be.
Yes.
That sounds familiar. But yeah, no, the Onion browser, baby.
But then also, yeah, that's what you have to do to get to Kiwi Farms right now, so it's as good as dead. It is no longer a radicalization pipeline. Anyone who was on there is already a lost cause now. And maybe was before, but now that is definite.
Won't they just go to, like, who's that one dude that kept 8chan online after Cloudflare dropped them? Like, just using some servers in his backyard or whatever. I don't know. There's always some weirdo that's like, I'll do it. I'll be your DDoS protection, like, we can do this, man. I'm just about free speech. I don't even like the stuff on that site. And it's like,
so I might have this confused, but I think Kiwi Farms is an offshoot of 8chan because that group, that leadership had a falling out with that community.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, isn't what's his name back? Q's back. Q's making some posts.
Oh, what's he saying?
Yeah, I thought in the last week Q came back as well.
Wild. Q is all through Reddit, right? Or is that a dedicated thing now?
No, Q is through 8chan.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Q is through 8chan, but most people don't know what 8chan is. They were just accessing it, like, mainstream QAnon people were accessing it via this website called, like, QMap.
Oh.
Where someone basically, like, normalized, like, the 8chan post, because they don't know what a forum is. Like,
yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't know. There's a lot of text here. Like,
I did also. Well, and like that's a part of it. I did go down a little bit of a Kiwi Farms rabbit hole when all this was going down, just to, remind myself what that deal was. And a big part of it is just inventing a new language for people to engage with, so they have to keep coming back because, they've been so shaped by this community that they don't know how to talk to other people anymore. Kiwi Farms just invented a couple of new slurs. I discovered that, and that's kind of fucked up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I guess it was like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Q started posting again. Just said, "Are you ready to serve your country again?" So it's like, I'm back.
U.S. Army paying Q to do some recruiting now? Are they that desperate?
Yeah, it was just a dude who, like, owned 8chan's son, like, watching Q Into the Storm, the documentary. Like, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It's definitely him. And who knows if it was originally him, but he took it over and made it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what their back end looks like, but if it's anything like the platforms I have experience with, seeing their back end, seeing their CMS, yeah, anyone can take over the original account, the master account, whatever, from an admin side. It doesn't have to be one person.
Yeah. They post like using key codes or whatever the fuck, which is all tied to like IP address and everything like that. And there is a moment in the documentary where it's like, and then all of a sudden he posted using a different code and said that the other account was compromised. And then like my only verification was through this guy who we end up finding out is almost certainly Q. And he's like, yeah, that's really him. No, he messaged me and everything. It's verified. That's him. Like, and then this one guy who was like an early supporter and now is like, that's not real, is like, yeah, no, like the codes were wrong. And I know that because I have back-end access as like a moderator or whatever. And then he started posting exclusively on 8chan. And it was just like, oh, that's weird. I don't think this is really him. And then you find out it's, that the owner of 8chan's son, who basically runs the site. So
who was old Q then?
Just probably some random LARPer.
Yeah.
Some guy that's just like, I have Q level clearance.
God, people. We as a society have forgotten how much people just lie on the internet. How much of that is a thing. I saw that meme going around of the Reddit post of the dude fucking to just the worst song to fuck to.
Yeah, Jade showed me that just like 2 hours ago.
And like, no, he wasn't. That's not a thing a person was doing.
Yeah, no, I said like, this is fake. It has to be fake. I hope it's not because it's really funny, but it is. Just awful.
But yeah, no, this is a pretty big win. Shout outs to Twitch streamer Keffels and everyone else who played a role in getting this hate and harassment site basically shut down. Massive accomplishment, and the internet, the world is a better place for that.
I want to make a quick shout out to Christina Applegate.
I don't.
We gotta switch calls.
Yeah, we should.
No, it's the Eric Andre show.
Oh, right.
Hannibal Buress just randomly in the middle of an interview is like, "Hey, yo, I want a quick shout out, Christina Applegate," and then everyone just starts clapping, and then the guest is like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can be a little more freeform with the breakouts in the group chat this time around. Rick and Morty, Season 6, Episode 1. What did we think?
I thought it was pretty good.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I completely forgot, like when real Jerry was talking about like what happened to Summer and Beth. Completely forgot like that they revisited that universe
and
after the Cronenberg,
them.
And that like they were frozen by the Citadel of Rick's people, and I just straight up didn't remember
Deep
that.
cut, yeah.
In my brain, I thought Summer killed them, like shot them and like melted them. So I'm like, wait, I thought this guy is dead. Then he's like, you left us frozen. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, the canon at this point is so like that episode came out 5 years ago.
Right.
I can't. It was a one-off. Like they get frozen and then the plot moves on. Like that's the whole thing. Like the show forgot about them as well as the actual canon inside the show, like the plot.
I didn't think we were going to get another canon-heavy episode so quickly after the last big lore canon-heavy episode, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it kind of begs the question of, like, I mean, obviously, I don't think they were thinking this far ahead when they started the series, but it's like, if the whole reason that this Rick was in that Morty's universe to start the series was because he was looking for the Rick from that universe, like, why did everything else happen the way it did? But yeah, okay,
it kind of tracks.
Yeah,
like they've kind of moved on from Evil Morty,
right?
So now they gotta find evil Rick.
It's like, can we stop talking about evil Morty? He just kind of fucked off. Like, it doesn't warrant talking about anymore.
Yeah.
He'll show up in the background eventually, I'm sure, but no, he's just out there living his best life, and good for him.
Yeah. Evil Rick, on the other hand, he's the real deal. Don't fuck around with evil Rick.
Hey, 5 seconds ago when you pretended to not know who Iron Man was, who was that for?
There's a lot of good, one-offs. Ton of good, like, little bits that'll...
Were you putting
Get
on
you
pants? Yeah, I was naked to fuck with someone.
Yeah, no, that was the guy! That was evil Rick!
Yep.
Maybe I'm doing
look,
a
it's a
Saw
clone.
thing, and it actually is me.
I don't know, it's all pre-recorded. I don't even know what's happening right now, like, because this is pre-recorded, so you probably think you're really cool, but, like... We'll see. There he goes. Uh-oh, better chase him.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll never know.
Wait, how am I?
Oh no, it looks like this thing's all gonna blow. Here's a bunch of timers. One of them's probably right.
Wait, how am I from a different universe? Oh, we make Jerry Beret. Yeah, mixed it up. Oh.
Mix up. And then they're still on like season 2 plot
Yeah.
lines in Jerry's original
Ooh,
universe.
a lot of season 2 energy.
Yeah. Morty got expelled. Yeah.
Good episode. Return to
Although, who was the Jerry at the end that released the...
That was
cute creature?
the Jerry from their current universe.
that was their...
who
right, that they
got
switched.
switched. So that Jerry was living in season
returned.
2 for this whole time,
Forever, yeah.
but he was the original Jerry from that universe.
Right. There was no progression. No, now I totally get it. Because, yeah, everyone who's traveled via portal returned back to their original spot. I see. Does that mean a bunch of corpses traveled?
I would hope.
Maybe. We saw them, like, flash
Yeah,
green.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a bunch of corpses all of a sudden. Like, other Ricks who have moved into other universes. Like, nothing's wrong. And then all of a sudden there's just a corpse. Like, replacing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, a lot of stuff there.
Mm.
Why do they even need to go back to like a like the world is so fucked up.
Yep.
So much shit has happened in their canon to the people around them.
Like,
Like,
couldn't they find something else to try out? Yeah.
Yeah, season 1, all of this sci-fi stuff was presented as a novelty in this world, and now they've been invaded. Like, this is...
yeah, no, aliens took them over.
Yeah.
Like the Galactic Federation literally ruled over Earth for a few years. Like,
Yeah, nobody cares anymore. I mean, the whole planet of Earth was transported to another solar system so that Rick and Morty could play music for a bunch of floating heads. Everyone experienced that.
is Mr. Nimbus still here?
I hope.
Like I got big Mr. Nimbus. I got fucking wiped out yesterday at the beach, y'all. I was like, oh no, Mr. Nimbus, you fucked me up. We were goofing around. The waves were pretty intense, and a big one was coming in. It was like a rogue wave, and I was saying to Angel, like, we gotta dive. We gotta get under this one. This is a big one, and we kind of didn't quite make it, and it grabbed us and threw us. So I was kind of like holding on to her, like trying to keep her safe the best that you can. And I just came down fucking hard, like right on my arm, and it like jammed my shoulder really good. So my shoulder is pretty messed up right now.
Nimbus, you bitch.
Scraped up. Yeah, Nimbus took his revenge, that's for sure. But yeah, no, don't fuck around with the ocean kids.
I remember, this is bringing back a formative childhood memory of mine for some reason. The formative memory isn't when this happened, but like one time, like my family took a trip down to Florida and we were on the Atlantic side, and kind of the same thing happened to me. Like, I got hit by a wave I wasn't expecting from behind. I was like playing with my sister, we were swimming around, I got hit by a wave. I was little, I was like 6, and it took me and like scraped me along the sand for a while, and like I kind of got pulled in like back from the tide, and I couldn't swim back up to the surface. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drown, I'm gonna die here, I'm so young. This is bad. And then like I got to the surface, I'm like, wow, that was really scary. And then later, we were all hanging out, and we had gone down with some family friends, and like, hey, Andrew and Abby, how was the ocean? I told that story. Like, I really thought I was going to die there. I didn't think I was going to see any of you guys again. That's what I said. And they started laughing at me.
Jeez.
I'm like,
There you go.
I'm young enough that this still scares me, but I'm old enough to know what death is. I didn't want to die out in the ocean. You guys are laughing at me for that.
I think we're piecing together some key Andrew lore here.
Oh,
The puzzle is
here we
coming
go.
together.
Yeah. Speaking of canon, increasing that Andrew canon.
Parmesan?
Parmesan.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah. It's gross.
Fuck it. I wrote about how the lesbian golf anime gets more right about lesbians than golf for Anime News Network. That's what I did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Birdie Wing.
Golf girl story.
Isn't every sports anime more about the real shit than about the actual sport?
Yeah,
So-
like don't most sports animes, including this one, have like signature attacks that the athletes use? Like it's Dragon Ball, where they like call out what their move is, and there's like a blast of lightning.
So, most of them, yes. I do point out a couple more grounded golf series, golf manga in the article. I am going to shout out the anime, the manga Slam Dunk, which is about basketball. And there are other basketball anime that, yeah, do lead into the more fantastical elements. Like, oh man, this dude can make a basket from fucking anywhere on the court, shooting out Kamehamehas with a basketball. And then Slam Dunk is just like, yeah, so playing a zone defense when you are not prepared to play a zone defense is maybe one of the most stressful and frustrating experiences you can have in a sport. To just get the ball and then all of a sudden there are 3 guys on you and you have no outlet to pass. That's what Slam Dunk is about, and that is why it is a very good basketball series. Yeah.
It reminds me of the Pro ZD video about the volleyball anime.
Yep.
How it's like when you start, you're just like, what's this thing about volleyball? I don't know anything about volleyball. And then by the end, it's just like, oh, their passes are working in perfect synchronization. Oh, the fakes are just unbelievable. Can you believe they've come together like this? I feel like that's just what it's about, right? Like it's all just,
Yeah.
What's it called? Fuck, not Friday Night. Shit, what's the football movie?
We Are Marshall?
With Denzel. No, not We Are Marshall.
Oh, Remember the Titans?
With Denzel. Yeah, Remember the Titans. It's all just Remember the Titans, right? Like, where it's like, these guys don't get along very well. And then by the end of it, they get along. And it shows on the football field. Like, I don't know. Tale as old as time, right? They do a song and dance, and all of a sudden their racism no longer exists.
Right.
Healed through the power of sport.
And song. Ain't no mountain high enough. That'll cure any racism. And by the end, the main racist guy will be paralyzed, but everyone loves him.
Yes. Birdie Wing Golf Girl story is basically Remember the Titans, except with lesbians and rocket launchers. And the mafia.
I know that...
And the golf mafia.
I know that high school sports tries to make golf a team sport, but golf is not a team sport. Like I don't care. You're just like bundling together individuals. There's no team.
Right.
It's impossible to have teamwork in golf. Mm-hmm. Like maybe I'm guessing you guys both ran cross country. I'm guessing there's a way that you can kind of like play team play in cross country because you're running at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in theory, could you like group up with a couple of teammates and try to like block the course so it's harder to pass and shit or something? Like,
I mean, in theory, but it would be more prohibitive because eventually people are going to get around you if you're slowing down in order to try to block people. Also, it is just like a dick move. It's something you're not supposed to do it, and you'll get called out for it.
Sports.
Frowned upon.
Sports, man.
But like, not many.
Don't people like whip each other with the flags? That's what I remember cross country runners talking about.
Yeah, people did that shit. And like,
yeah, that's not more frowned upon than like forming a wall.
But you
that's hard
had
get
to
around?
you had to do it like in a hidden area because like
Uh-huh.
you could get in trouble like if
Right.
if someone like saw you.
I
do
would
it.
hope you get in trouble.
Yeah.
You're like assaulting other people.
No, the most like teamwork in a cross country race was the coach telling you, yeah, this kid on our team, he's doing about the same mile times as you are,
Right,
but a
you
little
kinda
better.
pace each
Just
other,
stick with
right?
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
That's better than nothing.
Right.
Golf is not that. Like, there's just no way to work together in golf.
Yeah, and I do talk on that a little bit in the article. But yeah, you're not working with someone in golf, but like you are just out there with like another person for 4 hours, either competing with them or against them. And yeah, you know, there's some emotions that can bubble up in that. And then Birdie Wing does execute on a more dramatized versions of what those feelings can be. That rivals to lovers shit, but yeah.
Yeah. And rocket launchers.
And rocket launchers.
Yeah. I don't know. I never participated in any individual sports,
Oh.
basically,
Huh.
like my entire life. So yeah, like I know tennis too is another one where I was just like, that's not team, you know? Like I get it. It's just like you can kind of make it team by like bundling together individuals that are from the same school, but there's no teamwork. Like
Unless it's doubles tennis.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not like because you'll have multiple doubles partners
Right.
on a team. You know, it's like you've got your 1 doubles, your 2 doubles, and your 3 doubles. So like even then, the only team is you and your teammate. It's not those other doubles partners which are also on your team. So
Your high school had a tennis team?
yeah, yours didn't.
No, damn, bougie.
That was like a main sport. You guys had golf, but not tennis.
Yeah.
I feel
like the
tennis
only
is a lot
reason we had a
easier
golf
than
court or a
golf.
golf team was because our high school was like 2 miles away from a golf course.
They went to state this year. They're doing well.
You're gonna go to regionals.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. To me, it feels like tennis is a lot more achievable than golf. Maybe that's just me. You just gotta have a court.
Yeah.
The kids buy their own rackets.
Yeah, it's cheaper than buying a whole set of clubs.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty, and it's easy as shit. I don't know if you guys ever played tennis, but tennis is easy, bro.
A little bit,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
It's not.
Lucas, you're a fellow long boy.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a huge advantage in tennis.
The floor is very approachable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
probably
floor is a lot.
It's still probably as hard as any other sport to get to like an elite level, but like learning to play tennis at a coherent level is not very difficult.
Right. High school tennis in the United States is just not nearly as competitive as insert high school basketball, high school fucking anything really, like, because it's just I don't know, like, look, it goes on at the same time as some of the other sports that are more athlete driven.
Maybe
So you get a lot of people that are just like, I don't know, I just want to fuck around.
this is how I stake my claim on the internet. Just a series of articles, video essays, whatever. Hey, this anime about a sport? Kind of bogus with the actual sport. I'm the anime jock now. Watch out.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's me with TV shows. I tried to watch Friday Night Lights, and I was like, this football's so fucking bad.
Oh my
dude.
God.
Like, this is some of the most, like, it looks so shitty. It looks like a bunch of actors trying to, like, pretend that they're, like they're running, like whipping their hand and shit, and then they, like, dramatically look over their shoulder, and there's, like, some guy running after them with his arms outside, and it's just like, guys, I don't know why you think this is what football looks like. But
I have only seen one scene from Friday Night Lights, and it's when the coach of like the other team tackles the guy during
Yeah.
the game.
that happens. That's
Yeah, no, I know it does.
Wow.
I've seen that
Yeah.
happen in real life. Of like some
real
fucking asshole 50-year-old tackled a 16-year-old high school student from the other team because he got too into it. What a fucking loser! And yeah, that's kind of what happened in that scene.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's an argument to be made that high school level football, high school level athletics are the most honest versions of any of those sports. Like this is the culture actually.
Oh, that's
Wait,
what you mean.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Wait, I'm behind.
No, not like, yeah, this isn't the best version of the game, but this is No, this is the game. This is the most grounded. This is the most people being people into this sport out there.
No, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I think, basically any sport, high school athletics is probably, the best representation.
Reduced to their base form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These are kids that are like, nearing their athletic prime, that have been practicing this thing 5 days a week for months, like doing their absolute best. So it's like the closest that we can get to like regular people,
right?
Like not very gifted athletes for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
Doing a sport relatively well. Yeah, like if you go much younger, they're going to be really shitty at it.
Yeah.
And if you go older outside of rec league, if you go older into like rec league, then people aren't really trying as hard. There isn't like the practice element. And if you go like, more collegiate or professional, then that's just, those are gifted athletes. Those aren't regular people anymore. So, no, I think that's a good take.
Oh, thank you.
The correct take. Except for tennis. Fuck high school tennis. It's easy as shit. The high school tennis coach recruited me because I was 6'3" and played other sports, and he was like, "You will have a spot on our varsity team." Meanwhile, I had friends on the tennis team that were like, "I hope I can make JV this year." And I'm like, "Oh no."
We were talking about this when the Badger game happened. One of the players apparently competed in 4 different sports, and we were trying to figure out how that happened. Unless my money is that they got a varsity letter like sophomore year in one sport,
switch,
and then through some drama or whatever else, jumped to a different sport and got a letter in that by their senior year.
I feel like that doesn't count.
That doesn't count?
That doesn't count.
Oh,
No.
fair.
But one of the sports was track. That's why I maintained that like he might have just been a sprinter.
Okay.
And he played baseball, and then he'd show up to the meets and run faster than everyone. It was like, all right, whatever. Like you can't really argue with it if he's faster than you. But I don't know. I had friends that like did cross country or something and then shifted over to football like junior, senior year.
No.
I had friends that did the reverse.
Oh no, I have plenty of friends that shifted from like football to soccer or some other easier sport. Like football's bullshit.
Yeah.
No, like but football, I'm not saying easier in terms of like difficulty. I'm saying easier in terms of like the fucking commitment that you have to that bullshit head trauma. Like,
No, like
for the privilege of getting injured, you have to literally like wake up at 5 a.m., go lift weights in the morning, go to school all day long, after school go straight to practice for 2 hours, get home at like 6 p.m. when the sun's down again. Like, and then once a week you get to have your head fucking bashed. And
concussions are kind of a foregone conclusion in football. In every other major American sport, that's a result of people fucking up and doing things they probably shouldn't have. If you're getting a concussion in basketball, that is what's going on here. People are playing the sport too rough.
Yeah, I knew a guy who got a lot in basketball for some reason.
Ugh.
And he played football. I don't know what happened. I don't know, maybe the ball hit him? I don't
Yeah.
know. But no. Soccer too, though. Soccer, you have to.
Yeah.
Soccer headers are no fucking joke. Like those are definitely concussion worthy. So,
Is House of the Dragon worthy of my time?
Yeah, we've been saying it from the beginning.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good show.
It's a good show. It's worth watching.
What makes it good? Is it just the Game of Thrones?
I really
2.0?
like the characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm really interested in. Like, I'm watching now Rings of Power, which I also like, but like I think maybe less because it's more about like the Lord of the Rings vibe. House of the Dragon, I'm genuinely like invested in multiple characters.
It's
like,
not
really
just this is Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones was cool, and this reminds me of Game of Thrones. Like it's its own story, and the people that occupy this world are interesting and multifaceted, and like the way the politics play out is always just super cool to see.
So I know the last season of Game of Thrones kind of pussified dragons and made it so that they could be killed with just a big crossbow. Is there any outside threat to the Targaryen dynasty in this show so far? Because if they just have all the dragons, you got that on lock.
I didn't watch last night's
I did.
episode
I won't talk about it then.
But there's a civil war element. Like not all the Targaryens are a monolith right now.
There's multiple claims to the throne, and that's kind of what House of the Dragon is about. I mean, that's what the opening scene of the show is about. Spoiler alert. They're like, the only thing that can take down the Targaryen dynasty is the Targaryen dynasty. They have to try to like keep things unified because there is no threat to them other than their power being split. That's it. So
and them being like fucked. Like they're a fucked family, you know. They're not a stable ruling body. They like to fuck around, and we'll see when they find out.
How upfront is the incest element of the Targaryens?
Very.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's
pretty in your face.
No spoiler alert, but like, yeah, it comes up again in the third episode. In the second episode, there's a scene where the king is like, a lot of people are like, you got to choose a wife, man. Like, you got to get another wife, and he's like, I propose this person, your 12-year-old niece, and he's like, that's weird, because she's your niece. No, because she's 12.
Yeah.
She'll get older.
She doesn't have to bed him until she's 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what her mom told
Yeah.
him. He goes on the most awkward date of all time.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like this.
Yeah, there was a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio memes about him with the 12-year-old. It's I don't know, man. It's good. I really enjoyed the politics and intrigue of season 1, season 2, Game of Thrones. I feel like they really got to hit the reset button. But at the same time, like, it is a different world. Like, this is the Targaryens. Yeah, the power dynamic is completely different. House Velaryon exists. You know? Like, that's one of those, like, Better Call Saul-esque spoilers. When you do a prequel, you're like, oh, House Velaryon.
They're not a thing anymore.
Yeah, don't remember that house in Game of Thrones. I wonder what happens to them. Like,
I wish I hadn't.
Probably not great.
I wish I hadn't seen these, but I've seen a lot of people on the internet bring up like, oh hey, they referenced this character in Game of Thrones as like an aside, a throwaway line, and talked about how they were murdered by this other person. Like, oh shit, I wish I didn't remember that. That kind of spoils things 100%. For this show.
You got to be a little careful. But it's good.
Very cool. I'll talk about this just briefly. I finished the video game 999, and it made me hate J.J. Abrams even more. This is a piece of media that just executes perfectly on J.J. Abrams' philosophy of media stories should be a puzzle box. And yeah, just seeing that executed super well compared to J.J. Abrams just doing it worse with every movie he continues to make is, yeah, it was both refreshing. It was great to see that idea, that concept, that narrative structure can work well, and then reminded me how the person who is most famous for doing it, most successful for doing it, does it so poorly. So, yeah, that's my hot take there.
Oh, wait, it's not 999. It's 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
Yes. Yeah, but it's shortened to 999. Yeah.
So I was Googling it, and I was like, Juice WRLD? What? Juice WRLD still has a merchandise page, and it says Legends Never Die, so someone's cashing in. Hopefully it's his family.
I hope it was someone close to him and not just...
some record label or some shit.
What are y'all checking out besides Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I mentioned it off the beat, or off the cuff, but yeah, checking out Rings of Power. I like it. I mean, look, the universe has a very special place in my heart, and it always will. So I think just returning to Middle Earth is fucking cool with like a genuine blockbuster budget and shit like that. Like, it's I don't know, it's very interesting. I think that the characters leave a little bit desired. I think having the story be led by elves is going to be kind of a problem.
Right.
Like, they're just... Elves are very milquetoast.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they don't show much emotion. They're basically mini superheroes. The second that the show introduced, like, dwarves, the like, on-screen charisma fucking went through the roof, you know? Like, because it's just like, oh, these are fucking miney boys, you know? Like, they just... They got so much more character and like intrigue and stuff. Elves are just like, oh yes, the Silmarils, I remember those, and just like very, just fucking bland, you know. Like we're gonna see how it goes. But you can't tell the story of the rings without the elves. Anyway,
we need more weird little guys in there, and we need them now.
Yeah. No, get more fucking dwarves.
Yeah.
And contrary to everyone's beef, the woman dwarf, the wife of Prince Durin, did have some scruff.
Oh.
She did have a little. It wasn't a beard, you know. It wasn't the same beard, but she was a little scruffy.
Yeah.
You know, like there was definitely some shots where you could see some facial hair. That it was kind of like, oh, all those people were like, oh, the dwarves, female dwarves have beards. That's what Aragorn said. So, yeah, they went for it a little bit. It would have looked a little ridiculous if they had full blown like dwarven beards,
right?
But you know, they knew what they were doing.
I hate that I have to ask this question, but totally chill that there are non-white people in Lord of the Rings.
For fucking me,
yeah.
Jesus Christ,
there's so many people that are upset about it.
Those thought pieces about and same thing with Corlys Valerian, where it's like he's not black. That doesn't make any sense.
Like, who fucking cares? This is you.
Yeah, it's a medieval fantasy world.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like, this can be
the dwarves and the dragons and the elves are fine, but if I see a fucking Asian guy in there, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, no, actually not much representation outside of white people and black people so far in either show. Have you I don't know if I've seen any Asian or like Hispanic representation.
There what in House of the Dragon?
Well, I mean, I guess so. That's the problem, right? It's the same thing with like black people. Like there are black people that exist in like Sotheros or even Essos in the Game of Thrones universe, and so like when you talk about like Hispanic representation, like that's Dorne. You know, like the Dornish are basically just Hispanic, but then you know, like can we branch out a little? You know, like
I did see one Asian character in this new episode that you haven't seen yet. Doesn't have any lines so far, but I think he is. There was a scene where it's kind of hard to tell who was doing what. Like I think he is an actual character. I hope so. We'll see.
I mean, I don't have a full knowledge of like the Song of Ice and Fire universe, but to my knowledge, there aren't any like East Asian cultures in that. Like they, you know, like Essos is kind of.
But what's west of Westeros?
Like, you know, Essos is more like Middle Eastern kind of, maybe like Egyptian, Mediterranean vibes, and then Sotheros is clearly Africa. Like they just have like lions and shit. It's like, all right, but we don't ever go to Sotheros.
No.
And then like I don't know, maybe you go farther on Essos and you'd eventually run into like more of an East Asian culture, but not so much from my knowledge. But I guess if you just fucking go west to Westeros, you'll just find planet Earth. It'll just be like, oh, whoa, look, India, I'm here. Wow, the United States of America? This is so crazy.
Yeah, what if...
I'm Arya Stark, and look, it's Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, what if they make a show about Arya, and she goes super west, and she just ends up on the eastern end of Essos? She's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, it's a globe.
I didn't go that far.
Or not, or she thinks that she's gonna go there, and finds... Oh, look, Native Americans.
I mean, Arya Stark with a late career arc, a late plot arc of she's just Christopher Columbus now might be interesting.
I'd like to see her do, like, Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, if she just goes far enough west, she just starts fucking teleporting, like, all over the... like, she just teleports into different universes and shit like that. That's my headcanon.
That's what happens in The Witcher. Like, they literally just teleport to different universes. And it's like the future and all that kind of shit.
It's in Middle Earth, in the Lord of the Rings canon. If you go far enough west, you just go to Elf Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew,
I think they said this at some point because it worked with the lore of both. Did whatever the main woman in The Witcher is show up in Cyberpunk?
There is no. Like, there's there's an Easter egg where you find, like, a picture of her on, like, a magazine.
Okay.
That's it. But, like, in The Witcher, there's also an Easter egg where like Siri's talking about all the different universes that she went to, and she describes cyberpunk. Because at that point, cyberpunk was still in development.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. That anime coming still might be.
Is Keanu in the anime?
I imagine Johnny Silverhand will be. I don't think they're getting Keanu in a booth again.
Wow. Even for voice roles? That's rough.
Speaking of anime, I watched all of the second part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean. Still not a big fan of the Netflix release format for this series. Very hard to engage, really difficult to get hyped for it, engage with the community. That being said, I do love that the English dub comes out right away now, and that they're allowed to swear now that it's on Netflix. That's great. That's fun for me. Yeah.
Where was it that they couldn't swear?
Cable.
What?
Yeah, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure dub up until part 6, it airing on Netflix. It was airing on Cartoon Network. It was airing on Adult Swim.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, you can't swear on Adult Swim?
Not hard swears.
Really?
Yeah.
I was pretty sure you could.
I do.
Cable just doesn't have the same restrictions that broadcast has. They're only beholden to their advertisers.
Wait, Rick and Morty was like censored and bleeped out when
yeah.
you would actually watch it on Adult Swim. If you watched it on the app, like that stuff was all in there.
Yes.
But if you watched it like on TV, everything was still bleeped.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of dumb.
Right?
They don't have to. And with Adult Swim's marketing, with Adult Swim's target audience and like demographic, I don't think advertisers would balk at swearing, like, because that's all it is. They're not beholden to the FCC the same way that us broadcasters are. Like they don't have any hard regulations. It's literally just like, if you don't want to piss off advertisers.
I think it might be a little bit of a scam because a lot of anime DVDs, a lot of anime Blu-rays are advertised as watch the uncensored version of the series. And in that, they are allowed to say fuck. Or they do say fuck. They lift the self-imposed restriction.
And that's another ProZD video, the fan translations versus official translations. It's just like, you're my friend, I love you. And then the second one's like, fuck you. And it's just like completely, you're my fucking friend. What the fuck are you fucking saying? Like,
there is a really problematic trend in scanlation communities, fan translation communities of
making characters not gay.
It doesn't. Yes, that's a part of it. It doesn't really fit the character for them to swear here, but like the language kind of implies that they could have sworn here, so we're going to default to them swear. Like, I was reading a fan translation of One Punch Man the other day, and Saitama, One Punch Man himself, said a swear, and that is the most out-of-character thing for that person I can imagine. So,
it seems pretty
on
the level.
Yeah. Whatever.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean, part 2 of that season. Pretty good. The charismatic bisexual vampire and the priest are very gay together, and I enjoyed that. No. Andrew, what have you been checking out?
Well, kind of what I said. I watched House of the Dragon. I am caught up, but maybe next week we can talk about how the story's going so far. I read Chainsaw Man, just like you, Lucas. I went to the Renaissance Fair this weekend. That was a lot of fun. I'd never been to one before. And yeah, got a little dressed up, didn't go full hog because that's expensive. Walked around, saw some shows, saw some jousting. That was fucking cool. Okay. Saw like a really long sword swallower routine. That was awesome. Saw some acrobatic shit and some comedy. Ate some food. It was good.
Wait, was it like ye old comedy?
No. This is just some guy from San Francisco.
Just doing his set.
Yeah.
Just his regular.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Set.
Yeah.
Wait. Ren fairs are so fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was,
That's so
it was
funny.
definitely, like, various levels of, like, these people are staying in character, and these people are just here at the Renaissance Fair, and that's where they are doing their normal thing, and they'd, like, get a little into it, and some people would be like, "Oh, you peasants, come round,
Yeah, right.
buy my wares," like that kind of thing, and...
But then what about the people staying in character at the modern comedy show? Are they just constantly, like, he's like, yeah, you ever, like, see a tweet, and they're like, what's a tweet? Good sir, I do not understand what you're saying.
No one was doing that. No, I didn't see anybody, like, get into anyone for doing too much or not enough of a character or, like, not dressing up enough. Except I saw one guy that was in, like, full regalia, like a very expensive, like, leather outfit, had, like, chainmail on, swords and all that shit, but was just wearing Reeboks. And there were plenty of people that just weren't dressed up at all. Like, I'd say like half of the people there weren't dressed up in any form, and then the other half were dressed up to various degrees.
You don't need to be dressed up at all. Like, you would not be in the minority.
Yeah, no, but the
shorts.
one guy was like in full regalia, except for he just had tennis shoes on, and like I was in a shop, and this like the owner of the shop is like, I like what you're doing, except for your shoes. Those have got to go, man.
Did he?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they're a lot more comfortable. Like I switched because the other boots weren't very comfortable.
Own it, dude. Your character is Sir Galliant of the pumped up kicks.
Of the
Just
fucked
rock
up
it.
kicks.
The fucked up kicks. They are, though. Like, yeah, imagine if somehow through some quantum timey-wimey bullshit, like just a modern pair of Reeboks got sent back to the Middle Ages. Like, the knight who owned these fucking ultra comfortable, like, very durable, made of like a foreign alien material.
No, like the Renaissance
would be
the
cool.
Renaissance Fair, at least the one time that I went to this one Renaissance Fair, was not really about like transporting yourself back in time, partially because like there wasn't one specific aesthetic that they were going with. This place was huge. There was an area dedicated to pirate shit. And, like, one area that was, like, the Middle Ages, and then another area that was, like, actual Renaissance. Not, like, the Middle Ages, but the Renaissance. And I saw people dressed up like wizards. People dressed up like knights. People dressed up like ninjas. I didn't see any of this shit there, but we went on Instagram one time before we went, and there were Star Wars guys there.
It's just costume.
Yeah, like, people are just having fun. Bloodborne people were there.
I was going to say, based on that picture you sent me, there was an area dedicated to cool-looking but technically inaccurate Bloodborne cosplay.
What made it technically inaccurate? What was
The sword
your
was wrong.
beef with their...
The sword he had is not in Bloodborne.
Look, man, I know every single item that's in Bloodborne. That sword wasn't there.
Right, it's impossible to be in Bloodborne, or it just that specific sword wasn't in Bloodborne.
Okay, that specific sword was the Dragon Slayer from Berserk, which has been referenced in a lot of FromSoft games, Dark Souls specifically, and Elden Ring, but it's not in Bloodborne. No, it's just not there.
Someone could have made it up.
Okay.
Someone in the Bloodborne universe could have forged a sword that looked like it.
I feel like the people in the Bloodborne universe are more creative than that. Yes, there are some big fuck-off ass swords, but they're tricky. They're part like you shove a little sword into a giant scabbard, and then you pull it off, and then, oh my god, that's a bigger sword now. That's how Bloodborne works.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Andrew.
Yeah. I will watch The Rings of Power. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been gone this weekend.
Fantasy's having a little bit of a renaissance.
Yeah, I will say that, like, you know, watching House of the Dragon and, like, seeing the tournament happen in that show, like, maybe that helped me get a little bit more into it. You know, the jousting stuff that they had at the Renaissance Fair, I think, was really cool because I was a little bit more in the fantasy mood.
I want my last thought for Sir Galliant of the pumped up kicks. I want him to leave and then come back wearing a pair of Timbs, just daring people to call him out. They're boots. I'm wearing boots. Yeah. Last thing to talk about. What we do in the shadows. Penultimate episode of this season. Getting a little bit of heat online for making a Middle Eastern woman a white man as seemingly the resolution to her arc.
Wait, what? The season's not over.
Well, you think they're gonna do yeah, Genie, yeah, Jin, just make it all normal again. I cocked this one up.
Yeah, he's got 2 more wishes.
Okay, fair. I hope they do that.
That seems insane to me. Like, not the part where he took away all of her agency and made her just a fucking shell of agreeing with the man. That doesn't get heat. Like, it's a fucking fantasy show.
That's fair.
Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty fucked what happened.
I do like Nandor's arc of him being depressed and making all these self-destructive decisions, and one of them being, yeah, I just want my wife to like everything that I like and basically be me. Oh, wait, I don't like myself, though. This was immediate regret.
Oh, God. I have no self-love at all in this world. Why would I ever think I'd want this?
Andrew, did we tell you that Nick Kroll came back for an episode?
Yeah.
And it was maybe
I saw
the best
that
episode
scene.
of the season?
It kind of made its round online because of the way that the one guy's like, New York's today, or whatever.
New York City.
It's good stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, no, in this most recent episode, Nandor turned that woman that he made like everything that he likes, thus ruining her, into his familiar's boyfriend. Just an exact carbon copy of his familiar's boyfriend. And then they meet, and oh god, so fucked up. They meet, everyone's like, oh shit, this is so bad. Nandor regrets it, so he sends him off on his way. And then they run into each other in England. And start dating. Just carbon copy of himself.
The Tim, she's a Colin Robinson character who was a child, is now a teenager, but it's also just Mark, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, playing the character fully again. So it is the most middle-aged looking man affecting and dressed as as a very modern teenager.
Yeah, no. He's got the hoodie and the jean jacket over it and the backwards hat.
He's
like, what? I don't want to be. Can we leave?
He's got the weird, like, reclaimed fanny pack, I guess, where it's like over his shoulder, but very clearly just a fanny pack.
Yep, that's legendary.
If he's not,
when he first transitions and he doesn't realize that he's went through puberty, and it's just a dude with a beer gut in his 40s, but he's like got like shitty like makeup acne on his face, and he's just kind of like, Laszlo. His voice cracking at like every word.
Hey Laszlo, guess what? I hate you.
Oh, teenagers. They scare the living shit out of me.
MCR was right.
Yeah. As they should.
They could care less so long as somebody bleeds.
Yeah, no, we're going to get a lot of great Zoomer humor.
Oh my god.
Maybe we can actually fight back in this Zoomer versus Millennial war. The same guy that was talking about how we're getting fucking beat down in these streets.
Yeah.
I think that's just his shtick. He finds the most cringe millennial content of all time, and then just like, we're dying out here. It was a Kate Hill running up that hill remix where it was just it was just a bunch of millennials dressing up as Stranger Things characters and trying to sing it in character, and it just cuts to him, and he's just like 1,000 yards staring, like, what have we done?
Zoomers be put.
And it gets to Hopper, and he's just got the mustache, and he's just like, make a deal with God. And it's like, my face is melting.
Hey man, Zoomers are showing their full ass. I saw a video the other day where one was like, man, I am hyper fixating on making this macaroni. And, like, no, what? No, you're just making macaroni, my dude. It's not everything has to be a medical term.
It's not as good as a dunk as the corn one, though, I maintain.
That's
because
fair.
The best part about the corn dunk is that they would criticize themselves about it, you know? Like, that one, yeah, every Zoomer would be like, yeah, you are, man. You totally got ADHD. This is totally chill. No big deal whatsoever. But, like, Zoomers themselves would be fucking embarrassed if they knew the extent of their folly. They would have no defense if they fully understood what they had done. And that's what makes it just so, like,
I saw a retweet where a Zoomer was like, man, hope the corn kid grows up to do great things. And, like, corn kid's grown up. Corn kid's a late teenager now.
No,
okay.
This was a new interview.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Shmo
okay.
Yoho has existed for like 15
Yeah, they
years.
didn't
They've
just
been
find
doing
this
these.
video.
The
This was a new
actual
thing
corn
that they
kids
made,
have
but-
grown up, okay? The ones, the OG corn kid,
oh.
yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. They haven't.
Yeah.
Oh.
That video was recorded like a couple months ago, the interview with the corn kid. And then they made a remix of it because they're still around, the people making the remixes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. Shmo Yoho, who did the Bed Intruder song, and then fucking, I don't know, they did another one with an axe guy who killed a dude with an axe.
Oh yeah, the hatchet hitchhiker
Yeah,
or whatever.
the hitchhiker guy. Yeah, smash. And then, yeah, Chrissy Wake Up, that's also Shmo Yoho.
Wow,
They're just, like, having a moment.
up.
But, like, they're millennial as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're full-blown millennial, and Zoomers think they, like, claiming it, and that millennials would never understand. And it's like, yes. The cringers have become the cringies, I see. This is great.
Yeah, it's weird to live in an era of time where something gets big and then never seemingly goes away. That's odd. And granted, that's been the case since, like, what, the mid-'80s, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Props to Shmo Yoho.
Yeah.
They also did the remix that I think I sent you guys with oh god, what was it? It was 21st Night of September with another song. It was such a fucking bop, but I gotta find it.
All right.
I'll get it back. We'll see.
I think episode 196 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast has been a bop. It will almost certainly be titled Sphagetti Magnate Girlfriend, because that is a fun combination of words. If you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for highlight clips. Support us on Patreon and join the likes of Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and Sensual Richard Nixon. Or support us through the Anchor podcast platform. ActBlue link in the description if you want to help some great progressive causes. Email us your questions, business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter for updates at V2_podcast, and follow me at Lucas DeWriter to keep up with all of my writing. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend. Hope you're not working on Labor Day. Disrespectful to Hercules otherwise. Have a good one. Have a good week.